Wow, Chess. That's the Southern 500 for you. Uh, saying no, it ain't over till it's over. And we got ourselves a brand new upset winner, folks. And yeah, guys, the regular season is now over. Playoffs, we finally know who the top 16 drivers are. And it's, wow, we got a lot of storylines to discuss here, guys. So this is the NASCAR Cup Series Cookout Southern 500 race review. This is the last race in the 2024 Cup Series regular season. And yeah, so on the pole was Bubba Wallace, and on the second row on the outside was Carson Hocevar. And Bubba Wallace, he led the opening laps up until when green flag pit stops happened, and from there on out, it was a Kyle Larson domination. I mean, full on domination, full on legit domination by Kyle Larson. And one of the big first storylines I'm gonna talk about is Martin Truex Jr., where he got into William Byron and he ended up getting in the side, getting in the side of the 24, ended up spinning himself, getting himself loose and getting into the 12. And the 12 didn't, Ryan Blaney didn't sound the best after that contact. And good thing he is okay. But man, I was concerned for Martin Truex Jr. at that time. And now he's locked into the playoffs on points. And so yeah, stage one and stage two were swept by Kyle Larson. I mean, drivers were all that happened was Kyle Larson dominating and then green flag pit stops, and then we had drivers like Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch having different strategies, going longer than drivers like Larson, Reddick, and Tyler Reddick. I gotta talk about him, man. Tyler Reddick, he was my pick to win tonight's race, and ultimately, he didn't accomplish that. But he was sick, man. Tyler Reddick didn't feel really good at all physically. He had like a stomach bug. There was literally his times where his crew had to literally give him medicine, like crackers and stuff like that, to help with his stomach condition. But man, this was a long, grueling race, and just it ain't over till it's over, man. Like this literally described it. Like, oh my goodness, we. There was one point where we thought that Kyle Larson was going to end up winning this race. And I had a feeling that Bubba Wallace, if you guys don't know, like, Bubba Wallace, he's like the second guy I root for behind Denny Hamlin. And I wanted this guy, Bubba Wallace. I cannot say this enough. I wanted him to make the playoffs so freaking bad. And then when he got caught in that accident with involving Gregson, Ty Gibbs, Josh Berry, that just. I have no words. I I can't. I don't have any words. Like it's just a system, man. It's just it is what it is. Shrug our shoulders, like oh well. So yeah, this is coming from a Denny Hamlin fan, and you know, as a 2311 racing fan, I have mixed emotions. Like yeah, clearly I have mixed emotions. And as a Denny Hamlin fan myself, I do. And Denny Hamlin himself, he actually had a pretty good race. He did have a pretty good race early on. He was back in the top or back in the top 10. Like Denny Hamlin, he was in the top 10 for the majority of the race, and yeah. And the only caution for incident up until Carson Hocevar's spin, which created this massive, the massive wild ending to this race. Um, it was the Carson Hocevar spinning out, and we have raw drivers like Ross Chastain. He's gonna miss the playoffs as well. His team is thinking about taking a Hail Mary strategy and to hopefully help him get a win and get him into the playoffs. And well, and that didn't happen. But Chase Briscoe, man, he was able to get by Kyle Larson. Christopher Bell was up there too. Made it 3 wide down the bottom. Literally squeeze Larson and pass Chastain on the inside to take the lead, and he held on to it ever since. And Kyle Busch, he was coming after that Carson Hocevar crash again when he, I guess, blew a tire and hit the outside wall. Kyle Busch came down pit road to get fresh tires, and he was lights out, lightning quick in that final restart. And ultimately, I literally thought we were gonna have I was imagining having like a bumper to bumper finish, involving some sort of contact to get in the final playoff spot. Kyle Busch just didn't have enough. And in the end, Chase Briscoe gets his second Cup Series career win. This win locks himself into the playoffs. And yeah, there were some incidents right now there were some incidences with, other incidents involving like Chris Buescher. He and Todd Gillen had some sort of incident where Todd Gillen pinched Chris Buescher up and Chris Buescher got in the 30 and spun him out. And yeah. Anyway, let's get down to Chase Briscoe. He was able to hold off a hard-charging, hungry Kyle Busch. And this is the second week in a row where Kyle Busch falls up short. And Kyle Busch, I thought, after all of the crap that he's gone through this year, made the playoffs. And he ended up falling just short, and he will miss the playoffs. So, yeah. So, Chase Briscoe, man, congratulations to you, Chase Briscoe. Man, he had one of the most fastest cars. He had a top 10 car pretty much all weekend. And look where it happens. He was in the top 5 pretty much almost the majority of this race. You gotta give props to Chase Briscoe, man. This was one of the fastest cars I've seen him. Just gotta give props, man. Congratulations to Chase Briscoe. And we know who takes that final playoff spot? Ty Gibbs, who was involved in that accident, that big wreck involving Wallace, Gregson. It was started where Josh Berry and Ty Gibbs, they got together. Josh Berry spun around, and then all heck broke loose. But this race was literally the first, like, over 200 laps were the Kyle Larson show. I literally thought Kyle Larson was after where things are going, where Larson was literally gonna have a dominant car and pretty much win this race, but Larson's car ended up fading and ended up going to Chase Briscoe, who made a great move on that inside to take the lead, and he held on ever since. So again, congratulations to Chase Briscoe, and we now know who the top 16 drivers are who are in the playoffs. And guys, guess who's the regular season champion by just 1 point? Tyler Reddick. Oh, as a 2311 Racing fan. Yes, so yeah, guys, I have mixed emotions, obviously, because Tyler Reddick, he won the regular season championship as an 2311 Racing fan. I definitely really, really like that. And unfortunately, I wanted Bubba Wallace to make the playoffs so freaking bad. It didn't happen. I don't know what else they could have done. Like, he would have been out of the playoffs anyway with that win, with this Chase Briscoe win, so it is what it is. Oh well. Even though if he wouldn't have been involved in that wreck, he still wouldn't have been in the playoffs anyway. So it's just how this system is. If you can't win within that, if you unfortunately couldn't, if you can't win a race within 26 races, and when you're in a position like that, when upset winners would be able to do it, this is the result that you're gonna get. So same goes with Chris Buescher, man. Sucks for Chris Buescher, dude, as well. Ross Chastain, he had a chance, just didn't work out. Just too many bad breaks, and for Chastain in this regular season. Yeah, just this race had a lot of storylines. It was a domination by Kyle Larson. We had interesting strategy with drivers pinning on the even cycle, and drivers were pinning off cycle, pinning longer, like Danny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, or someone like that. So, or trying to run long, or Chastain trying to throw Hail Mary strategy from his team. So And then in the final laps, it was a playoff battle between Buescher, Bubba Wallace trying to gain, or both drivers trying to gain spots, and this is just a track of the playoff battle. And yeah, like I said, we now know who the top 16 drivers in the playoffs are going to be. Alright, everyone, so here are the playoffs right on the screen. So, yeah, Kyle Larson, he has the most playoff points. He didn't win the regular season championship, but he's first currently on the playoff grid. Christopher Bell second, Tyler Reddick, the regular season champion, in third. William Byron fourth, Ryan Blaney, who ended up getting caught up finishing last, involving that wreck with Truex at the start of the race, which Truex did own up to it. He said he was an idiot when he made that decision. So yeah, Ryan Blaney fifth. My guy Denny Hamlin, man, after that penalty, he falls down to sixth in the regular season. Well, sixth in the playoff grid. If that penalty didn't, if before then, he would have been like two in the top three. Chase Elliott in seventh, Brad Keselowski in eighth, Joey Logano ninth, Austin Cindric 10th, Daniel Suarez 11th, Alex Bowman 12th, Chase Briscoe 13th, Harrison Burton 14th, Ty Gibbs 15th, and Martin Truex Jr. in 16th. So Ty Gibbs and Martin Truex Jr. were the only ones that are in the playoffs that are winless. So yeah, I'm going to tell you guys some notable finishers. Kyle Busch obviously finished second. Chris Buescher ended up finishing in sixth. Denny Hamlin seventh. Corey LaJoie found himself in ninth. Tyler Reddick top 10 after got a top 10 finish. So yeah, and did win the regular season championship, like I said. So that's a big thumbs up for me. That's a big thumbs up. So yeah, Bubba Wallace. Unfortunately, ended up finishing 16th though, which is better than I thought he would finish after that, him getting caught up in that wreck. Yeah, and like that's really some of the notable finishers. Oh, Joey Logano in eighth. Austin Dillon, after that Richmond win, when his playoff eligibility got taken away, he won't be in the playoffs either. So yeah, Carson Hocevar, after starting in second, ends up finishing 33rd after spinning out once and then blowing a tire or something that, DNF'd him for this race. So yeah, that's all the notable finishers I have. So yeah, guys, in conclusion, this Darlington race at the start was a flat-out domination by Kyle Larson, other than when, truck drivers are other than green flag pit stops happening to see, like, drivers getting tires, trying to fight the racetrack at the start, with Kyle Larson basically dominating. But in the final, like, 50 laps or so, it was a ultimate battle. Michael Jordan even got to do an interview. And it's just... I am looking up at my Michael Jordan calendar right now, and it says, there's quotes on my calendar for each month, the key to success is failure. And Bubba Wallace, he'll be back in the playoffs, and I know he'll be. So, yeah, just have to wait till next year to see Bubba can make it in. So, yeah, but, yeah, now it's playoff time, guys. My playoff predictions video will plan on being out at least by Friday. So, yeah, guys, it's Labor Day weekend. Happy Labor Day. And just what a race this was. Really interesting when it comes to strategy. Well, really interesting when it comes to, drivers fighting the track, of course, but with Larson, aside from Larson dominating, we could see guys like Denny Hamlin, Chase Briscoe battling it out. Of course, Wallace, Briscoe, and all the drivers below the cut line trying to fight for a spot. But in the end, it was Chase Briscoe who got the job done. And this might be Storehouse Racing's last win. We're going to have to wait and see what happens, because we got 10 more races left to go, and the playoffs are here. So, yeah, guys, that's it for this video, guys. Congratulations to Chase Briscoe on this upset victory, just barely beating out Kyle Busch. And, yeah, this is the first time Kyle Busch is going to miss the playoffs in, is this the first time he missed the playoffs in his career? I don't know. But all I know is for the fact he still hasn't won a race yet. So, yeah. So anyways, guys, Chase Briscoe wins the Southern 500. Congratulations. What another playoff upset. And anyways, guys, this is Preston signing off. Now, we're on to the playoffs. Peace out.